Hi, I am Pratiksha Bosle and today's my topic is the respiratory system. The respiratory system is a biological system consisting of a specific organs and structures used for a gas exchange in animals and plants. The anatomy and physiology that make this happen varies greatly depending on the size of the organism, the environment in which it lives, the environment in which it lives and its evolutionary history. In land animals, the respiratory surface is internalized as a lining of the lungs. Gas exchange in the lungs occurs in millions of small air sacs. In mammals and reptiles, these are called alveoli, and in birds, they are known as atria. These microscopic air sacs have a very rich blood supply, thus bringing the air into close contact with the blood. These air sacs communicate with the external environment via a system of airways or hollow tubes, of which the largest is the largest is the trachea, which branches in the middle of the chest into the two main bronchi. This enters the lungs. This enters the lungs where they branch into progressively narrower secondary and tertiary bronchi that branch into numerous smaller tubes, the bronchioles. In birds, the bronchioles are termed parabronchi. It is the bronchioles or parabronchi that generally open into the microscopic alveoli in mammals and atria in birds. Air has to be pumped from the environment into the alveoli or atria by the process of breathing, which involves the muscles of respiration. In most fish in most fish and a number of other aquatic animals, both vertebrate and invertebrates, the respiratory system consists of gills, which are either partially or completely external organs bathed in the watery environment. This water flows over the gills by a variety of active or passive means. Gas exchange takes place uh, in in the gills, which consist of a thin or very flat filaments and lamellae, which expose a very large surface area of highly vascularized tissue to the water. Other animals, such as insects, have a respiratory system with very simple anatomical features, and in amphibians, even the skin plays a vital role in a gas exchange. Plants also have a respiratory system, but the directionality of a gas exchange can be opposite to that in animals. The respiratory system in plants include anatomical features such as the stomata that are found in a various part of the plant. Mammals anatomy. In mammals anatomy of respiratory tract. In humans and other mammals, the anatomy of the typical respiratory system is the respiratory tract. The tract is divided into upper part and lower respiratory tract. The upper tract include the nose, nasal cavity, sinus, pharynx, and the part of the larynx. Above the vocal cords, old folds, the lower tract includes the lower part of larynx and the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli. The branching airways of the lower tract are often described as the respiratory tree or tracheobronchial tree. The intervals between successive branch points along the various branches of tree are often referred to as a branching. the earlier generation uh, the earlier generation consisting of the trachea and the bronchi, as well as the larger bronchioles, which simply act as the air conductors, bringing air to the respiratory bronchioles, alveoli, ducts, and alveoli. The first bronchi to branch from the trachea are the right and left main bronchi, second only in diameter to the trachea, 1.8 centimeter. This bronchi 1.2 1.4 centimeter in diameter enter the lungs at each the helium, where they branch into narrower secondary bronchi known as the lobar bronchi, and this branch into narrower tertiary bronchi known as the segmental bronchi. The alveoli as are the dead and end terminals of the tree, meaning that any air that enters them has to exit via the same route. A system such as this create dead space, a volume of air that fills the airways after exhalation and is breathed back into the alveoli before environmental air reaches them. At the end of inhalation, the airways are filled with the environmental water, which is exhaled without coming in contact with the gas exchanger. Thank you.